How was the nap?
It was a very long nap. I would say that's what sucks about it too. I had to read that off a phone and like put it in my words, and I was like, anywho, I'm going to bed.
And that's how the podcast started. She even had her lawyer present.
I have my lawyer here too.
That's all right.
What's your name?
Christian Barker.
Christian Barker. Okay, cool.
First things first. She still doesn't understand anything about crypto and what really happened between her and the managing team from the crypto company.
Someone like you know, and my shit was gradual. I like gradually got to where I am today, and you were like fucking parabolic.
She's a modern Icarus. In one night, she became famous. She flew near the sun and she got burned.
I'm also kind of on the back end of things too. Like their team's been very forthcoming. My team is vetting them the fuck out right now and has been for the last week. Thread Guy and Frank, they're going to be on this episode. It's such a weird blend and mash of worlds. No,
It rolled out.
Don't cry, Haley. It's fine. It's all going to be okay. Life is going to be okay. Oh, Haley, no.
Oh, don't do that.
No,
Don't stare at me.
No.
You just
You're adorable.
Just
and
give
it's
us a
gonna be
minute.
okay. It's going to be okay.
Well, so basically how this idea got brought to me, it was supposed to be like what do they call it, a long-term coin. And the guy that ran the account, he was like, oh, we're going to change like the way everybody thinks of crypto. Crypto is going to be a good place. And I feel really bad for all the people that got affected by it. And it just didn't go the way I planned. And all the money out of this episode is getting donated to all the animals that have been affected by the fires up here.
And I'll match it. Me, Ricky, I'll match it, whatever. It's really, really important for me to make sure that we address everything and get through all of exactly what happened. I think that it's really, really important at this point to be totally transparent about everything.
Face brought his team to help her out, especially now that Hoktua Girl is like a kryptonite. No one wants to be near her because they lose their powers.
I don't know. That was really good.
Yeah, because
The
it
problem
happened.
with,
Yeah.
Her buying in right now with what's on the market is there's 80%
Yes.
that's not available.
What does that mean?
So obviously, we don't want to run into a situation where you do that. You put $250,000 in. Because I'll be honest, if you did that, the market's probably going to react in a positive way because it is a great narrative and it is a really genuine gesture.
Even if she tries to buy some cryptos, so Tua crypto will rise at the pricing, it doesn't mean that the developers that own 80% of the coins will not sell again and throw her off like they did previously, as we saw. The pricing is according to her and her lawyer. I don't know, because there are talks from some people that she owns 50% of the coins.
Natural
Well, how much, like,
conversation.
did they offer you money up front? This is what I think the internet always wants to know is, like, do they offer you money up front, part of the tokens? Like, how did that work? Like,
So the deal, I can speak to that. So the deal that she did was like a brand image likeness deal where they paid her $125,000 up front. They were supposed to pay her $200,000 after the launch of the coin within 30 days. She was supposed to have full transparency to tokenomics and everything going on, which they did stay in communication about it, but it just was an ever-evolving game plan, essentially. So back-end participation was to always be mutually agreed, and what they had agreed on in the tokenomics was there was a 10% allocation of the token that would be on a 1-year lock and then a 3-year drip after that. Of that 10%, half of that was supposed to go to the company that created the project and half was to go to her. So out of 100% of the token, she would have had 5% at the end. Obviously, she has lawyer, manager, business manager, so even that 5% would have been cut down by over a quarter due to people that she has to pay out on her non-crypto.
So all the structure you just described, what happened to all that?
It's not like it has dissolved. That on launch, 3% of the token was made available for public trading. A lot of this information we found out since the launch. We, as in Haley's internal non-crypto team, but 17% was given to pre-sale investors. 2/3 of which approximately sold the day of
Yep.
launch. So there is 20% in circulation.
Even when I heard the deal, it was weird. Especially when I see the face of the crypto is getting only 325 grand, and after that some low percentage from the sales and everything. But for her, the pricing was way too much money, and that shows us something. I heard her lawyer that he negotiated the contract between her and the developers. And in my opinion, the contract wasn't good enough, especially for the pricing and the money that she would receive after all of this.
I negotiated the contract with the company. We have like accounting transparency rules and requirements that I added to the contract. SEC compliance requirements I added into the contract that they would have to do as project manager. And so we continued to inquire all along the process about the tokenomics. It was kind of a shifting narrative and explanation of tokenomics. The most recent tokenomics that were given to us prior to the launch had the pre-sale investors being on a 1-month lock with a 1-year drip after that. That's pretty obvious on chain that didn't happen. But 80% of the supply is still in control. The dev still controls 80%.
And who are they?
I do not know who the dev is. That was never disclosed to us. All I know is it's a gentleman that's...
So see, the problem with the developing side of like projects like these and products like these is they can do whatever the fuck they want, right? Like they can change this structure that sounds really pretty and nice and fair and honest. They can change.
And when I saw this clip, she still doesn't understand the basic keywords of the crypto.
So who has that? The 80%.
The dev...
What is
they
dev?
control the 80%, the developer.
Based out of where?
Based out of San Francisco. It's one guy based in San Francisco, is my knowledge.
Well, that's better than China.
She doesn't understand that dev is a developer. That shows me that she still doesn't understand anything. And that's a good example of who you don't trust about economics, especially in our days. You can't take advice from random people. And that's the basic of what you need to know. And everyone needs to understand in our days. After the leaked video in her channel, and I was happy to find it, is that Face made a response on X. And I will read what he wrote about everything. So, in an attempt to hear Hailey Ward's side of the crypto scam story, I agreed to do her first podcast back. I had heavy stipulations including not allowing markets to be manipulated by leaking this episode existence before a resolution was found. Her team finding a real solution regarding the money she made, where that should go and what to do with the Hawk project moving forward. Non-starters, and we were told this episode would only ever see the light of day if we explicitly greenlit it. Basically, her team did a mistake. Or they did it on purpose. Because after a while, after this episode was published, the Hawk 2 at crypto, rised a little bit. These incompetent retards leaked and or inside traded the token. That is very possible. We noticed a random spike in the volume of the coin, along with random messages asking us if we did the podcast. Very clearly, her team was not as solid as they claimed to be. They completely blew it, and we called the episode off right then and there. Now, today, the episode randomly gets leaked. The price of Hawk is pumping, and they completely fumbled the bag yet again. What a mess. Poor girl. It's a wonder how she found herself in this position in the first place. The answer is simple. She still doesn't understand what is going on. She has a team that the only thing they after is basically money. And I don't know how she can change that. Even if she fires everyone, there are so little people that will probably help her, because they will believe that something even crazier will happen. Now, Haley Waltz, I'm going to speak to you direct and say the exact same thing I said to you on Spaces that night. Fire everybody, your teams, blah, 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 blah. Full disclosure, nobody from our team will ever own Hawk tokens. Highly advise anyone following the story stay far away from this, as a majority of the supply is owned by unknown developers. Even when she found some people that they are willingly want to help her with some things, with some priorities of them, that the show will not show the light of day, especially before they manage the situation, is really bad for her and her image. Right now, she's nuclear. I don't think that she can save anything from that. I don't know what she will do, because I don't see any routes that she can take and manage to survive from that. From now on, it's only down. And trust me, she's not even close to the bottom. Be better.